We're settling in to enjoy the wonderful lunch that was prepared. Rachel and Susan have prepared a musical number that they'll be reciting here. Laurie, Tammy, anything else while I'm up here? All right, thank you.
Thank all of you for coming. I just wanted to tell you something about that song we just sang. That's a song that Mom used to sing to us every night at bedtime. And it was just such a special time for all of us. And we just hated to have her leave us, and so we would say, Mom, sing it again. But it has a special memory for me of Mom, and I've sung it to my children and to my grandchildren too. Now we're going to read some of Mom's poetry. Larry's been going through Mom's poetry, and she says we need to read some. She was a really good poet. Gary's coming up. This one, I believe she probably wrote it when Mom and Dad lived in Riverdale. And it was probably after the rest of us had left the nest. All of us had left the nest, and Dad was out on a run with the railroad, and she was awake at night. It's called insomnia. The night sounds of the house awaken me, the throb of the water softener regenerating, the contractions of the furnace pipes in the bowels of the house, the stray dog's excursions on the redwood deck, ripping, tearing at the garbage sacks, rattling cans, rustling paper, assuaging his belly, growling hunger. A train whistles, piercing the night air, keening on the breeze, pulsing engines, revving up on metal tracks, vibrating against the earth. The sound barrier shattering scream of a jet in flight. Oh, how I yearn for the velvet blackness of the desert night. The crackle of the log dying in the great, sorry, I remember this, in the great stone fireplace. Thanks for the pinch. The creak of walls and timbers as the ancient house settles and cools. The mournful, faraway wailing of a coyote on a cedar-dotted mountain. Okay, the clean snow melting into clear pebbles, strewn rivulets, trickling softly down, down to quiet pools, shimmering in the starlight.
Whatever you want to do. Oh,
We don't know what to do. This one she wrote when my son John, my second child, was born, so it was in 1982, and it was for all the grandchildren at that time, but it's also for all grandchildren. Grandbabies smile and send a thrill to my old battered heart. I see in their sweet faces a hint of who they are apart. Those darling babies that we raised in those earlier days have left an imprint on those precious baby ways. Their tiny hands in mine remind me with a heartfelt pang of times long past of rocking chairs and teething rings and lullabies I sang. They carry the mark of their grandfather and me in eye or ear or hair. Also, in-laws have a part of the visage they wear. The love for each of them is keener than I ever thought could be, and there's excitement in my soul when they say grandma to me. I'll just get my part done with. I just wanted to say a few words about my mom. When she started kind of failing, I wrote her a letter, and I'm just going to read that letter to you because what good is it if she can't hear it? And I know she's here, and I love her. Mom, I'm just thinking about you today. I want you to know how much I love you and appreciate you. You are such a wonderful mom. I have so many memories of my childhood, including teaching me to cook, sew, garden, enjoy a good book, dancing and singing lullabies, God's little candles and You Are My Sunshine, baking bread and stretching the Dover scones and making pie dough treats sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar, your homemade rolls, making fruit leather, the corn bust, going to A&W and getting french fries and root beer, ice cream cones with little glass animals on top, playing card games with us, the magical trip of the motorhome with so many banana splits I thought I'd get sick, showing me how to love your husband. I have so many memories of you and Dad dancing in the kitchen. Sorry. Your love story is beautiful. I never remember you and Dad arguing. You were seldom angry, except for those occasional wooden spoon spankings, which I'm sure I deserved. Making popcorn on the stove and putting in a big roasting pan so 5 kids could devour it in a second. I remember one time watching you get ready for a dance you were going to and looking up and thinking how beautiful you were and are. I remember your furry high-heel boots that we used to steal and play dress-up with, the special nights I got to sleep with you in your bed when Dad was away. I was so proud of you when you went to college and got your degree, your beautiful paintings, your poetry, and your short stories. I remember going to Wells and singing with the family around the fire, precious memories. You and Dad making it possible for me to be on drill team, sacrificing your car so I could continue with my senior year after we moved. She helped me so much when my children were young and I needed babysitting or anything, and my boys often remember watching Robin Hood, the cartoon, and she would play with them and make crafts with them, and they always felt so loved by her. I treasured the time we had in Mesquite where we could learn more about each other as adults, and I could see you every day. I know I get my spunk from you and so much more. I felt your love my whole life. I am so grateful to be your daughter. You are my precious mommy, and I love you to the moon.
So pretty. Mom's eyes sparkled and shined, and when she laughed, it was with her whole body. When she hugged you, she held on too long. She was a great cook, made the best sourdough waffles, and her bread and her scones were amazing. She would give us little doughs to play with. But sometimes her dinner wasn't so great. She served us cow tongue, and I did not try it.
I think that was Dad's idea.
One Sunday we were at church and Dad was sleeping after a work trip and on the railroad. We came home to the best stew. Mom said to Dad, "Where did you get the carrots?" Dad said, "In the freezer." She's looking at them and she finally says, "Oh, those are apricots." But I'll tell you what, it was really good. She made the 4th of July fun, and she would let us sit on the roof of the garage to watch the fireworks. I know I got my artistic talent from my mother. She used to call us in the morning. Susan was upstairs, so she was already awake. But she, "Neil, what? Get up. Gary, what? Get up. Tammy, what? Get up. Laurie, what? Get up." And then 10 minutes later, "Neil, are you up?" "Yeah, we're not up." But we knew that second call was coming. She sewed many dance dresses for me. I guess Tammy had to make her own. Let's see, where am I? I think I'm going to leave that one out. It's going to make me cry. Oh, Dad, we knew where you hid the Christmas presents.
Mom used to let me help wrap them.
We would say, "I think this one's for you," and we'd be like hoping on Christmas morning who it was for. This is a poem that my mother wrote, and I have spent a good week going through and reading all of her poetry that I had no idea she wrote. This is called Marred. She wrote it in 1985. Outside our summer window is a wide expanse of grass. In wintertime, the scene is a snow-swept, drifted mass. Who was the someone who couldn't stand the clean and velvet snow and walked completely around it with no real place to go? I love you, Mom.
So it's just this one?
Yep.
So I don't know where this one came from, other than what her inspiration was, but it was in August 1985, Grand Canyon North Rim. To be perched up on the edge of the world and look down into the vast emptiness and gaze onward and outward into the nothingness. To feel the shaky knees, the quaking heart, the utter breathlessness, to know what it is to be small in all that wonder. It's frightening. It's a frightening feeling. Incredible loneliness, like an ant in that great kingdom of towering stone. Over, around, above, below, beyond, all sight, all sense, all emotion. Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. The mic is open.
Yeah, we invite you, if you want to share memories of Mom, or Lorna, whichever you called her, to come on up and share.
I'll say one more thing. When we were having our little fun, there was times that Mom would always ask Dad, "Can you reach him? Can you reach her?" And we knew that was bad news. And so also she would say, "Just wait till your dad gets home off the railroad." And by the time he got home, it was all forgotten. Fortunately for us. And Mom was very good with Hannah and Shane, and they had all the pots and pans out and made dough, and I won't steal Hannah's thunder, but love you, Mom.
It's hard not to get up here and cry. Grandma was like the coolest. I have very fond memories as a little girl going over to her house, and she would watch us
while my parents would go to work. One of my most favorite memories, and it's still hard because I have the book, is she would read, "I love you. I love you forever." And I remember sitting on her lap with my Raggedy Ann doll that she had. And the whole concept is she rocks this baby clear up until he's an adult. And then she becomes old and he carries her. And the famous line is, "I'll love you forever. I'll like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be." And when I've had my own kids, reading that book, I can't go through it without crying because I think about her. Grandma was so cool about making like salt dough and Play-Doh. We would make pancakes and awful waffles and just lots of cooking. She was amazing out in the backyard. We had fun playing back there. I loved looking for hazelnuts and her apricot jam. She just always wanted us to be creative and adventurous. We loved to play dress up. She had this really cool dresser in her extra room. And in the top drawer, we knew we could take anything out and she would never get mad. I'd find all kinds of fun jewelry and neat things. And Shane doesn't remember, but when he was little, he'd come out dressed up like a bandit or like a cowboy, and he would come around the corner with his cap gun and say, "Bam, you're dead." Me and Pepper grew up together. That dog was really a cute dog. And Grandpa babied that dog. But that dog grew up with us. We'd play with her. She had a really cool hot tub in her greenhouse. We thought that was like the coolest. And the treadmill was always a blast until you fell off the back. That wasn't cool. But I'm just grateful for all the fun experiences that she had, for the cabinet that she had below her. Oh, I don't know what it's called, the island in her house. She had Fruity Pebbles and Vienna sausages. And we knew we could get into that even before dinner. And I hope I can be the same kind of mom and grandma to my kids and my grandkids one day. She was a great inspiration. Thank you.
You know, when my grandma's health was starting to fail later in life, was able to spend a little bit of time visiting with her, but it made me, you know, kind of look back of all the special times that I was able to experience growing up, and was telling, you know, my kids and my wife about the amazing grandmother that she was. She was pretty awesome. I think she was probably one of the first people that I knew that had a computer. And learning how to like type DOS, backslash, whatever, trying to find Tetris, you know, so. But she made you feel special. I remember the barbecues, the dress ups, I remember a lot of that growing up, all the fun times with cousins in the backyard. But one particular thing that I really loved was, I think I was around 12 years old, and I had my eyes set on a new pair of rollerblades. Didn't have the money for them, but she let me come and work in her backyard, I think for 3 days, and backyard was big, needed a lot of attention and work. She got her use out of me, but you know, I ate amazing. She showed me so much love and attention. It was great to have that one-on-one time with her, because if you got to experience that, she made you feel like you were just the number one. Very, very special. I will miss the cuckoo clock that she had. I remember a lot of those fond memories of just so much in that Riverdale house. Yeah, I love her, I miss her. Thank you.
She wrote the poem about me that my mom shared earlier. It's a favorite grandson. So a couple things I wanted to, I have a lot of fond memories with Grandma. So I wrote some of these keywords down as I was thinking about it, but Robin Hood was one of them. I think we watched Robin Hood a few thousand times and loved that. I remember gardening. She had, in my childhood memory, I remember she had a fence that had grapes on it. And in my memory, I remember it being like 4 miles long. And we would go and pick grapes and throw them in the neighbor's yard. I remember she had huge railroad tie gardens that we used to work in. I don't think she liked us in them, but we used to pick all kinds of vegetables. I had the chance to go work with her over the summer as well, and I didn't realize that she knew so much about plants. She had a green thumb and knew every single plant and like the species and the genome name, and I was blown away. And she taught me how to work hard that summer. I worked there for a week. We worked like 8 hours a day just pulling weeds. And I remember Raggedy Ann dolls around her house all over the place. I remember being introduced to Johnny Cash and Elvis with Grandma. Or was that your music, Grandpa, or did Grandma really like Johnny Cash? That's what I thought. She also took us birthday shopping on one-on-ones. I remember walking through the aisles with her at like Toys R Us, just me and Grandma on our birthday, and she would let us pick out a toy. And I remember one year Grandpa came too, and there was a vending machine, and I asked if I could get a piece of candy out of it, and I couldn't make up my mind. And just looking and looking, and Grandpa finally said, "If you don't pick one, I'm going to pick one for you, and you won't like it." So I made my choice. I remember sitting with her in Florida. She came to visit us one time when we lived in Florida, and we had these amazing thunderstorms that would kind of come through. And we were sitting out on the balcony together, and I remember her holding my hand during the thunderstorms. And I just remember feeling so loved from her, and she was so blown away by all the thunderstorms and what we had there, but such a precious memory I had with her. I remember the golf cart wars we had in her neighborhood in Mesa. I think we were asked to not do that after that. And endless losses in Scrabble. If anyone has actually beaten my grandma in Scrabble, I'd like to know, because I don't think it's ever happened, but I'll miss her, and she was such a sweetheart and always very supportive growing up, so thank you.
My most fond memory of Lorna, we were all at Grandma Housley's house for Christmas. All of us kids were there. And Larry and Lorna were sitting on the couch. And Larry said, "My arm's asleep, feel that." And she touched it, and then she slapped him and said, "I can't feel if your arm's asleep." She always fell for Lorna's jokes, and I just loved her for that.
Probably the hardest time of my life. Lorna had to fight very thankful for that, for what she did. And also, my mother used to always say, good old Lorna. Not old, good old Lorna.
We just want to thank you again for coming. I know our mother would really, really love to see all of your beautiful faces, and I'm sure she's just smiling in heaven. And thank you for your kind words. Thanks for reminding your mom. You guys travel safely home. We love you.
Yeah, is there anybody else that wanted to say something? Because we don't want to cut it short, but thank you so much for everything.